Most people start a veggie garden so they can grow tomatoes, and every tomato lover dreams of growing the perfect tomato. Firm but juicy, sweet but tangy, fragrant and free of spots. Tomatoes are one of the few vegetables that are more likely to have problems than other vegetables. The key to growing tomatoes that taste great is to choose the best kinds, get the plants off to a good start, and stop problems before they happen. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Today we are going to talk about the top 10 tips for amazing tomatoes. Before we get started with the video, don't forget to smash the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. Number 10. Don't crowd tomato seedlings. If you are growing tomatoes from seed, make sure to give the young plants lots of freedom to spread out their branches. Yes, this indicates that you should thin the seedlings until there is just one healthy plant in each cell or little pot. Cut off the smaller and weaker seedlings to make room for the one that is growing the fastest. They are unable to reach their full potential, which places a strain on them and can eventually result in disease. As soon as the tomato seedlings have their first set of true leaves, transplant them into individual pots measuring 4 inches in diameter. Number 9. Provide lots of light. Tomato seedlings require bright light that is directed directly at them. Because the days are shorter during the winter, even positioning them next to a window that gets plenty of sunlight might not be enough to supply them with the necessary amount of natural light. If you are not cultivating them in a greenhouse, your best bet is to employ a sort of artificial plant illumination for a period of between 14 and 18 hours every day. Keep the baby tomato plants no more than a couple of inches away from the fluorescent grow lights to ensure that they develop into stocky plants rather than spindly ones. As the seedlings continue to develop, you will need to adjust the height of the lights or the plants themselves. When you are ready to plant them outside, select the area of your vegetable garden that gets the most sunlight to serve as their placement. Number 8. Turn a fan on. Tomato plants can only develop sturdy stems if they are allowed to move and sway in the breeze. If you are going to start your seeds indoors, you will need to make sure there is adequate air circulation. This is something that occurs naturally outside. Turning on a fan in their direction for 5 to 10 minutes twice a day will help to create a breeze. That relatively short amount of time will result in a significant change. You may also ruffle the tomato plants by moving your hand back and forth across the tops of the plants for a few minutes, many times a day. This will give the plants a ruffled appearance. It will take a little bit more work on your part, but as a bonus, you will pick up their delicious tomato aroma. Number 7. Preheat the garden soil. Heat is good for tomatoes. They won't actually start growing unless the soil temperature and the air temperature are both kept at a warm enough level. A couple of weeks before you intend to plant, you can speed up the process in the soil by covering the area where you will be planting with a layer of black or red plastic. These additional degrees of soil warmth will result in tomatoes that are harvested earlier. You are able to remove the plastic before planting. However, there is research that suggests using red plastic mulch as a mulch can have the added benefit of raising the yield of your tomatoes. Number 6. Bury the stems. You should plant your tomato plants deeper than they come in the pot, right up to the few leaves that are on the very top. Tomatoes have the ability to establish roots all along their stems when they are planted in this manner. A plant with a greater number of roots will be more robust. Either dig a deep hole or dig a small trench and put the plant on its side in the trench. Both methods will work. It will swiftly grow in the direction of the sun after it straightens itself out. Take care not to ram the stake or cage for your tomato plant into the hidden stem as you plant it. Number 5. Mulch the tomatoes after the soil has warmed. If you do not want to keep the plastic sheeting in place on the soil, you should hold off on laying down the mulch until the ground has had the opportunity to warm up. If you apply mulch too soon, it will not only shade and chill the soil, but it will also save water and prevent soil-borne diseases from splashing up onto the plants. If you apply mulch too early, it will also save water and prevent soil-borne diseases from splashing up onto the plants. This is due to the fact that mulch stops soil and illnesses that are carried by soil from splashing up onto the plants. As tomatoes do best in warm climates, it is recommended to let the sun warm the soil in the spring before planting any tomato seeds. After the daytime and evening temperatures have reached a comfortable level of stability, you can apply a layer of mulch to the ground in order to assist in the soil's ability to retain moisture. Number 4. Remove the bottom leaves. When your tomato plants have reached a height of approximately 2 to 3 feet, you should prune the leaves off the first foot of the stem. These are the oldest leaves on the plant, and they are typically the first to show symptoms of a fungal infection. As the plants grow larger, the lower leaves receive less sunlight and airflow than the upper ones. Pathogens that are carried by the soil are able to quickly splash up onto these leaves since they are so close to the ground. Eliminating them reduces the risk of fungal infections taking hold in the environment. It appears that spraying the plant once a week with compost tea is an excellent method of warding off fungal diseases. Number 3. Pinch and prune for more tomatoes. It is best practice to pinch out and remove from the plant any suckers that develop in the crotch joint that connects two branches. They will not result in the production of fruit, and the rest of the plant will suffer as a result of the energy they take from it. When you are pruning the remaining components of the plant, though, you need to exercise extreme caution. It is possible to remove some leaves from the tomato plant in order to make more space for the sun to reach the tomatoes that are maturing. However, it is the leaves that are photosynthesizing and producing the sugars that give your tomatoes their flavor. When there are fewer leaves on the plant, there will be fewer tomatoes that are juicy. Number 2. Drink water regularly. While the fruits are maturing, make sure to water them frequently and thoroughly. Blossom end rot, which is caused by a calcium deficit, as well as cracking and splitting, are the results of inconsistent watering, such as skipping a week of watering and then trying to make up for it. 5. As a general guideline, you should give your plants at least 1 to 1.5 inches of water per week, but during particularly hot and dry spells, they may require more water than that. If you notice that your plants have looked wilted for most of the day, you should give them some water. When the fruit has begun to show signs of ripening, you can reduce the frequency with which you water the plant. Providing the plant with less water will encourage it to concentrate its sugars, which will result in improved flavor. Use your judgment. If you deprive the plants of water to the point that they repeatedly wilt and become stressed, the plants will stop producing flowers and may even stop producing fruit altogether. Number 1. Getting your tomato plants to set tomatoes. The ripening of tomatoes is largely dependent on the climate, although there are times where human intervention can hasten the process. Indeterminate tomato plants, which are ones that produce fruit consistently, should have the tops of their main stems pinched off at the beginning of the summer. This will encourage the plant to start putting its energy into flowering. Because indeterminate tomato plants prefer to reach their full height before beginning to produce fruit, you shouldn't be surprised if your tomato plants don't produce flowers for the first month or two after they have been planted. When the growing season is coming to a close and you want the rest of your tomatoes to mature as quickly as possible, pinching can be a useful technique. That's a wrap on the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, let me know by giving it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.